This is that moment when you are choosing between a flashy new car and long-term freedom. My name is Saul, and I spend too much time thinking about money and choices. Imagine standing at a dealership at 25 while your future silently waits in an account. Picture the same money instead invested and quietly growing while you sleep and work. When you buy the car, you get immediate pride and a monthly payment that persists. If you fund a retirement account, you trade a small present thrill for decades of compounding. Now consider how decades amplify small differences into life-altering outcomes through compound interest. Before signing papers, think about opportunity cost as more than a clever finance phrase. After a few years of discipline, your account starts to feel like a trustworthy companion. Once momentum builds, the savings pathway becomes easier and less emotionally fraught than before. Many young adults confuse visible luxury with genuine financial progress, and then feel surprised. Most advertisements are designed to trigger feelings, not reason, and to accelerate impulse purchases. Some friends will admire your new vehicle, while your long-term options steadily disappear. Others will not notice the retirement balance until it transforms lifestyle options in later life. Investing early is boring for the moment, yet wildly unfair to those who wait. Saving consistently at 25 buys optionality that a new car can never replicate. Putting a fixed portion of income into retirement creates a habit that compounds alongside interest. Rather than following crowd instincts, choose small, systematic transfers that grow into significant sums. Think about the mathematics quietly doing the heavy lifting while daily life continues as usual. Consider a monthly contribution that feels small now but becomes substantial with time and returns. Ask whether you prefer status for a weekend or optionality for decades of choices. Do remember that patience is a financial superpower and not a compromise of joy. Why then do so many sacrifice future security for present applause and temporary comfort? How might your life change if you prioritized retirement accounts before taking on new debt? Let the idea settle that delayed consumption funds a future filled with options and calm. One simple action today can save you years of stress and unwanted compromise later. 2 choices every month compound into a temperament that favors freedom instead of debt. 3 practical rules will help you prioritize retirement over depreciating luxuries without losing present enjoyment. 4 habits to adopt are automatic saving, budgeting clarity, low interest avoidance, and gradual increase. 5 small wins in the first year build the confidence to continue without dramatic sacrifice. 6 common myths about wealth deserve quiet demolition before you make costly purchases. 7 questions will reveal whether a vehicle is an investment in mobility or a statement of status. 8 realistic timelines demonstrate how retirement saving outpaces car depreciation over decades. 9 tiny changes to spending habits free up meaningful contributions for retirement accounts. 10-year projections often reveal surprising advantages for early investors compared with later buyers. 11 stories from people I know show both quiet regret and steady triumph. 12 emotional triggers often push young buyers toward purchases they later regret and forget. 13 times I have watched pride fade, while some balances continued their silent work. 14 practical examples illustrate how money in the market compounds, while cars lose value. 15 minutes of planning each month prevents months of anxiety when unexpected costs arrive. 16 small adjustments to monthly expenses can create a meaningful initial retirement balance. 17 recurring subscriptions silently drain accounts and reduce the amount available for investing. 18 mental models will help you think like an investor, not like a consumer. 19 advisors may disagree, but a clear, personal plan reduces confusion and regret. 25 years of compounding can transform a modest start into true financial independence. A simple emergency cushion prevents derailment and protects the long-term plan from short-term crises. By automating transfers, you remove the human drama from a critical saving decision. Because compound interest prefers time more than clever timing, you should start earlier rather than later. Without an organized plan, impulse purchases will continue to erode your capacity for future options. While friends trade monthly payments for status, you quietly build a choice-filled future. Although the new car feels like progress, the underlying net worth picture often tells a different story. Since retirement accounts typically benefit from tax advantages, the effective return often improves compared to simple saving. During years of career development, retirement savings allow you to take strategic risks in work. Despite occasional peer pressure, your account balance gives you leverage when negotiating compensation and opportunities. Through consistent contributions, you convert small sacrifices into large future possibilities and calm. Within a few years of steady investing, the psychological burden of scarcity begins to lift. Alongside investments, build skills and networks, because financial flexibility accelerates meaningful career moves. Beyond immediate gratification, a retirement account buys you time to find work that truly matters. Across decades, small percentage differences amplify into enormous absolute dollar gains for the patient investor. Beneath every flashy purchase, there is usually a sequence of missed opportunities over the coming years. Above the showroom lights, remember that cars depreciate, while properly invested money can appreciate substantially. Near-term pleasure often disguises long-term cost and reduces freedom in ways you cannot see now. Far future comfort arrives mostly because of habits established during early adult years and decisions at 25. Close inspection of budgets reveals surprising pockets of money that can seed a retirement fund effortlessly. Simply choosing a modest vehicle and directing the difference to retirement can change your retirement date. Clearly understanding the trade-off between a depreciating asset and tax-advantaged accounts clarifies priorities quickly. Honestly assessing your values helps align purchases with long-term goals rather than social signals. Frankly admitting that some purchases are for show frees you to invest in things that actually matter. Gently, we should recognize that money buys options more than perpetual happiness, but options matter deeply. Quietly building retirement wealth also reduces stress and improves decision-making in non-financial areas of life. Boldly preferring long-term security does not require a life devoid of enjoyment or spontaneity. Wisely sequencing spending can allow occasional rewards while preserving the trajectory toward financial freedom. Patiently increasing contributions with income growth preserves lifestyle today while accelerating security tomorrow. Rapidly increasing your retirement savings after raises creates an outsized benefit due to compounding over time. Slowly shifting priorities often leads to more sustainable lifestyle balance than radical austerity campaigns. Consistently avoiding high-interest debt amplifies the effectiveness of any retirement contributions you make. Rarely does a single purchase decide your fate, but patterns of choices over years usually do. Frequently review budgets to catch small leaks and reallocate those funds toward retirement accounts. Occasionally reward yourself in measured ways so that the saving habit remains sustainable and humane. Usually, the best financial move at 25 is to secure future options rather than present applause. Always remember that control over choices matters more than any single possession you might acquire. Never confuse monthly payments with ownership of freedom, because they are often opposite in effect. Perhaps you imagine that luxury now is essential to your identity, but identity evolves with choices. Surely you will appreciate the calm that comes from having several months of expenses saved and invested. Certainly, prioritizing retirement accounts early reduces the need for brutal sacrifices in later decades. Finally, accept that small, consistent actions compound into the life you want with less drama. Lastly, keep in mind that the most valuable purchases are those that expand future possibility rather than constrict it. Equally important is the psychological shift from scarcity thinking to proactive decision-making about money. Notably, your career options expand when you are not forced to accept the first available paycheck. Surprisingly, many people with modest incomes reach financial independence because they started early and stayed consistent. Interestingly, the freedom to take a risk at work often arrives because of a healthy retirement balance. Thankfully, compounding is impartial and rewards those who give time a chance to work for them. Regretfully delaying saving is a common regret that I hear far too often from older friends. Remember that a car will rarely improve your ability to take a calculated professional risk. Recall that the first contributions matter beyond dollars because they prove that you can delay gratification. Visualize the quiet pleasure of watching numbers grow month after month while life unfolds. Notice how mental bandwidth expands when short-term fears about money are removed from daily thought. Observe that confidence in negotiations at work often stems from knowing that you have breathing room. Realize that choosing retirement accounts now grants you flexibility to pursue meaningful projects later. Accept that the luxury of choice is often more valuable than any single flashy possession. Believe that patience, automation, and discipline are the three engines that drive long-term wealth. Commit to small regular transfers and to incrementing them as your income grows over time. Decide today to favor future optionality in measured ways while still enjoying an honest life. Embrace the identity of a person who invests in options rather than in temporary symbols of success. Follow a plan that balances present joy with the creation of a calmer, choice-filled future. Grow the muscle of delayed gratification, and you will find that pleasure becomes deeper and less fleeting. Hold fast to the insight that retirement accounts buy you more than money. They buy you agency. Invest in relationships, skills, and retirement simultaneously because they reinforce one another over long spans. Join those who choose compound interest as a partner and not as an abstract concept to ignore. Keep automatic transfers running so that human whim does not interrupt intentional accumulation. Learn to ask whether an expense increases long-term optionality or merely satisfies a fleeting feeling. Make space for celebration while ensuring that celebrations do not derail the broader plan. Notice small wins and reward progress in ways that do not compromise your long-term trajectory. Operate from an identity that values time, freedom, and the ability to make courageous professional moves. Plan with humility and curiosity, and adjust the plan as income and life circumstances evolve. Question cultural narratives that glorify consumption over security and measurable long-term outcomes. Respect the slow work of compounding and trust that small, steady contributions create large future rewards. Stand firm when pressure mounts and remind yourself that choices today echo decades into your life. Take comfort in the fact that starting modestly at 25 still beats postponing the first contribution. Use simple, repeatable habits to steadily build a retirement balance that funds freedom when it matters. Value long-term optionality because it allows you to design a life worth living on your terms. Watch your psychology shift as money becomes a tool for choices rather than a symptom of fear. Xylophone-like, perhaps this sentence feels odd, yet the point remains that novelty does not replace discipline. Yield to the principle that time multiplies discipline saving into life-changing resources beyond imagination. Zealously protect your early savings from lifestyle inflation, and you will grant your future self a gift.